Hi, everybody. Welcome to my channel. If you like my channel, please like and subscribe. There's a notifications bell down at the corner that will let you know as to when I go live. So today's topic, fear, ah, and maybe a little bit of hypocritical behavior on my behalf. Yeah, today's been interesting. So I believe last vlog I might have talked to you about the emergency response plan for COVID-19. And Washington State is now a state of emergency. And our response, and the thing is before these things happen, what we do is we have people prepare a response plan, right? So that if it ever happens, we have a plan of response. The problem being is our response plan forgot about an entire demographic of people. It's horrifying to me because these are very health insecure, health vulnerable people. And so they're going to be the most at risk. And there's a lot of seniors. I can't even tell you how many 60 plus people there are on the streets right now. And so it just breaks my heart that, our response plan was really based on some sort of wealth basis. If you can't afford to protect yourself from a pandemic, you should die. Like so I screamed about it. I yelled about it throughout social media, called the mayors, whatever, called a bunch of people, worked it out. So they did today. They said that they are coming up with, I think they said they were coming up with a plan last time too, but they said this time they're coming up with a plan for the unhoused. So I was like, and I hate to even say this. I hate to say it because I hate, it's hard when you see flaws within yourself, and you got to work through it. And after all this yelling, I realized something. Okay, they know that a response plan for the in-house needs to be put in place. In the end, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether one was put in at first. We know that it wasn't. Fix the problem. Let's move on. So I did my yelling and I was like, okay, move on, move on. And then I was like, so what can I do at this point? And then I kept going back to the fact that I am immunosuppressed because of the arthritis medication I take. And I was like, well, I can't go out and I can't do this and I can't because of my health and blah, blah, blah. And I had to check myself today. And it was because I was afraid. I don't want to get this. Nobody does. But I think that that's where we decide as human beings whether we're going to talk about it or be about it. And so today on this vlog, the only thing I want to concentrate on is I have an emergency list on description in the description link for this video. I have an emergency list. It's got hygiene wipes, it's got masks. I will go out, I will be safe, of course, as safe as possible. But I am going to do what I can to get our community these supplies, because the last thing for me, I don't let fear rule my life ever. Like ever. Once I realized I was afraid, I was like, and how could I be so hypocritical to, yes, the government should have had a plan, whatever. They're flawed, inherently just flawed. They have whatever. But the thing is I do have the power right now to make a difference in others' lives. And I feel that okay, let me share with you what happened and what actually triggered this within myself and this self-reflection, because it wasn't just me waking up and being like, oh. So I kind of had the attitude of, it wasn't my job. I'll be honest. I was mad about that. And let's just, yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. Hold on. Ta-da. Yeah, there we go. Bam. All right. Um, so I kind of have that, and I hate that. I hate that about myself. I don't believe that, and I should have really like caught that into myself. But so I get this email, and it was for us community liaisons, and I'm a community liaison. My demographic is the unhoused, and it said that we need to be there for the emergency response teams to generate information for our demographic. That's my demographic. That is my job. Saving lives out there is my job. That is my business. That is my job. It doesn't, I guess that's where courage comes in. There's two options. At some point, something is going to kill me. Like I'm going to die for something at some point, whether that be, you know, 10 years for 20 years, 30, 40, 50, however many. I don't concentrate on that. I don't really care. I want to live now. But the last thing I'm not going to be unsafe, but the last thing I'm going to do is let fear stop me from saving lives. And so I had to really check myself in that, because how dare I? How dare I think that it wasn't my job, even as a member of the community, to help others? Like what? And so yeah, definitely, like, you know, yeah, it's one thing to bring attention to a matter, which I did. And once attention was brought, like there's no other yelling, like there is no point to yelling and screaming at a at an agency that is trying to fix their error. They've recognized the flaw, they're going to fix it. So I'm like, shut up. Like, okay, you got it. And then next thing is action. And I got caught up by fear. I got caught up by fear of my own personal like safety. And I think that's the thing is I often, and I think a lot of people do, think about situations of like, what would I do if I was faced with saving a life? What would I do? What would I do in an emergency? What would I do in a pandemic? And it was a very harsh reminder for me to know that my initial reaction was fear, to not go out and give out supplies. And no, that's not me. So I just want everyone to know, of course, I'll be safe, but please, whatever you can possibly do for the unhoused in your area, if you want to send supplies here, whatever, please, please do so. This population has zero access to hygiene supplies. Even washing hands regularly is out of reach. It feels honestly like drops in a bucket, but it doesn't matter because I could have been one of those drops, Like every life has value. And so we have to just do the best that we can. And so if you think of anything that you should put on that list, let me know. I'll add to it. Just please, please, do what you can. If you know what, if you have a home, just take water out to people so that they can wash up. Something, anything. It doesn't have to be buying supplies, you know, but don't we can't be stopped by fear from doing the right thing, you know? And the right thing is to protect those that need protecting and be their champion and make sure that we are doing what we can to do the very best that we can. And I got into a conversation. Well, it wasn't really a conversation, but somebody was like, if you do your best, it's always good enough. I'm like, depends on what good enough is. Like, I knew people whose best, and they still died over, and they didn't seem to get that. So what I feel that we need to do is go out there and do our best to help people who really just are struggling and are going to be the heaviest hit population in all of this. or maybe not that. Okay, I take that back. Rewind. Maybe not the heaviest hit, but they are definitely in that percentage of high risk individuals. And it tends to be much more serious in high risk individuals. And I'm going to bring this up too. Okay. I have, like, it has come across my feed a lot, about it being manufactured illness. Number one, here's what I have to say to that. Who cares? War is manufactured. It kills millions. Doesn't stop people from dying. I don't care what it's from. I don't. As long as scientists can map it, so I think they're already mapping the genome. I don't care. And I don't care about anybody's opinion about it except an epidemiologist, because that's their job. And the problem is we have so many people who refuse to listen to science. And I'm floored by it. Floored by it. Absolutely just like in awe of the absolute just pushing away of anything scientific. Number two, a lot of people in this are thinking from a position of health. In other words, it's not going to affect me, or it's not going to be that bad because I'm healthy. I don't even get the flu shot. Blah, 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 blah. And what they're forgetting is, okay, great. It wasn't that bad for you. And you carried it off and gave it to Grandma Sue over there, who passed it off to her little grandkid in NICU, who now just infected an entire prenatal unit. Ripples matter, your actions matter. And the one thing in this, and that's where I had to, that's what I was talking about earlier, having to check myself, is it's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about protecting our communities and doing the best we can to help others who might not be coming from a position of health. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to address comments. Sylvan, hello. Fear makes me stay too long in a wrong relationship. I can see that. I mean, I think that fear makes us do a lot of things, but I think that that's what I was talking about. Like, I had to dig deep to understand I'm not the type of person or I didn't think I was the type of person to pause when someone needed help or saving, but apparently I am. I paused. And I realized that that was fear. And what I had to do is say, okay, fear is there to teach me something. And I think a good, healthy dose of caution is warranted. But I think when it comes to the kind of people that I serve, and the issues that they have health-wise, it comes down to someone's got to be that somebody, you know? If we're asking that question, well, where is somebody? We are that somebody. I am that somebody. And so it does fall on me, this personal responsibility for making sure that since I know about it, since I know people out there are vulnerable and going to die, and I know that I have this platform, I have YouTube, I have Facebook, I have other places where I can do this and ask, these amazing people for, these supplies and be able to distribute them and get them to who's needed. Like, that would be a waste. Like, we have to work together. It's a community effort. John, die from what? Joyfulness? I don't know. Like, who knows? It's not my business. Like, what my business is, I think, is to live the best I can. And when I see flaws or fear within myself, I think it's best to address it. And number one, find out if it's warranted. Like, some situations, fear is definitely what should be the response. And I think that that came in when I had to go to cognitive behavioral therapy for a lot of stuff. But one of the things is tamping down like initial reactions, and instead of, like, a lot of times I would go into a situation where I should feel fearful, and I would feel aggressive. And so that was part of, learning about, my brain injury, what could happen in that, and that aggression, and why it was so important. Like when dealing with, and police officers, if one of them starts to get aggressive, say, hey, I have frontal lobe injuries, please. Like, there are, my phone went off. There really are issues with that, but that's where I learned always check myself. So I had this amazing opening of being able to be like, well, if I can check this thought and flaw, I can check this. And then I started looking at all the cognitive biases and being like, oh my. And so it's like, okay, my brain is now a project. Dawn, big pharma doesn't make much money from antibiotics. They could care. Number one, antibiotics are for bacteria, not viruses. And everybody cares about this virus. And if they don't care about it, then they are sorely misinformed in a large way. And it has nothing to do with big pharma. I don't care about big pharma. What I care about is, at this point, people are going to die. And that's what we have to do right now. Right now. Who cares about anything else? People are going to die. Get hygiene supplies out. Save your neighbors' lives. I don't, that's it. It isn't even a thing to argue about that, or to argue about whose fault it is, who did it, whatever. It is right now, and it is going to kill people. So please, all those arguments set aside. There is no whataboutism in this. This is a pandemic. This is a state of an emergency. No, it's not the flu. It's very serious. And that's one of the reasons that I was getting real hot today, is because literally our lives are valid. People who are immunosuppressed and seniors in health conditions, they are the ones that get critically ill. They are the ones that die from this. If you are in the 80%, that's going to be fine. Good for you. Good for you. But please think of other people. And any argument other than, oh my gosh, go help a neighbor, oh my gosh, let's help the community, is definitely, I'm not even considering. I don't care what the arguments are until the lives are saved. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. I'm not going to go in like Doctors Without Borders. They don't go in and be like, well, what faction caused this injury? Yeah, but what about that war zone? It's much worse. Nobody does that. It's an emergency. Kate. Okay. Hi, I am late. I'm afraid we are going to starve because of the economic crisis. It's getting really scary. But I have to change my mindset because we have nothing fear but fear. So, right. And I agree with you that we shouldn't get to the point. But like I was saying, there are significant reasons. I don't think that we should fear. I think that we should educate. But here's the thing, is knowing that right there, knowing what is going to happen and accepting it. Because I hear a lot of people, they're presented with all of this information. And then the thing becomes, even though they're presented with this information, it becomes, well, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to, they don't prepare. And the thing is once you see and you accept what's going on, just the same as like the cognitive bias I was talking about, the cognitive flaws, is you have to recognize it before you can fix it, and yes, it is scary, and we should definitely be cautious. And we should be like, this is a situation that, yeah, if you're going to be a little fearful, this would be it. But the thing is, I'm not going to be so scared that I don't jump in to help is for me. I can't. It doesn't matter. Like, in the end, think of my privilege right now. I have an apartment. If I do get sick, I can come isolate. I can shut my doors. I can wash my hands. I can do these things now. But I remember when I couldn't. And I remember it still very vividly. And so when people think about when they really are coming from this position of not thinking, it's almost like they're saying, I don't matter and my life isn't valid. And I know that that's not the case. I think a lot of it is just overlooking um, and not having knowledge about a population. But when you've experienced not being able to have basic hygiene, when you've experienced being immunosuppressed, when you've experienced all of these things, how could I not rush in? How could I not rush in? They need a champion. And if that means I'm going to have to scream and yell and kick about some stuff, I will. But in the end, what I'm going to do is send supplies out. That's what's going to happen. I am going to, it doesn't matter. As soon as they arrive, I promise you I will get them out. So if anybody wants to check that list, I still have the other for the vehicle, but I'm not going to be posting that up for a minute till we're through this and everybody's safe. So, yay! Kayak, what is my address? I'll type it in. Mailing is, oh, whoops. Okay. Mailing is, I am, oh, this is not, I keep hitting enter. That's what that, okay. Hold on. We'll just do it that way. We're just gonna, all right, this is the way to go. Dana, all of that with my name. But I only put a few things on the wish list because I really, I know they're saying masks are ineffective, but here's what I think about the mask situation. I think it might be, like they said, ineffective in some respects. But I also think if you have it on your hands, a lot of people touch their faces. And when you're touching your face and all of that, a mask might, I don't know. I just know that we have to stop this and we have to, I don't even know what to do. I just want to do whatever I can. So I'm going to join whatever emergency efforts are necessary and whatever I can do without, kicking my own butt too bad. So that's what I want to talk about is over how I overcame my fear, how I recognized some hypocritical little flaws within myself. When it concerns my world, it is always my business and my job. And to think anything else is really not in line with my views. So 401 is the apartment number. So are there any questions or any comments or anything else? I just wanted to kind of get that off my chest because I was throwing quite the temper tantrum about it. But I also now realize, okay, there was a plan coming in place. There's the only thing I need to concentrate, the only thing anybody should be concentrating on is get a supply of food and stuff. Do what you can. Do what you can and watch out for each other, is love one another, be kind. Like think outside. We got to think outside ourselves, because we are all participating in this amazing system of our earth. So, hi Blair. Yeah, I'm getting off of here. I'm done. I just wanted to discuss that and thank you all. Like I said, check out that emergency list. Even if you don't send it here, get it for your area, pass it out. Take safety precautions. Like I'm going to take safety precautions when I hand stuff out. I'm going to wear, whether they say a mask is effective or not, I'm going to wear a mask. I'm going to wear gloves when I go hand stuff out. But I think it's very important that when there's a crisis, we have to, I have to, not we. I mean, people react how they react, but in a crisis, I need to remember that courage is not the absence of fear, but the overcoming of it, to make sure that I am running towards and helping rather than running away. Okay, that looks like all. Okay. Well, I hope you all have an amazing night and a great Sunday tomorrow. Um, I'm sending everything on your emergency list. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Except the masks are not available or something. They're dry. Like, they said that they removed the people that were price gouging, but when I went on there, I they were. It was insane, and I was like trying to find like the cheapest N95 mask that they had, and it just wasn't. It wasn't working. What is the number one need? Wipes or gloves? Wipes. Wipes. Wipes are the number one need. People wipes and hand sanitizer. Um, I would almost say the medical grade germicidal wipes. They are the reason for that is because they have to have people have to have something where they can wipe off their hands, wipe off a door handle before they touch it, things like that. So I would say out of all of it, the wipes are the most important. Gloves, these masks are going up. People are buying them and overcharging. They are price gouging. It's awful. It's in and if you do that, shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. That is that is not great. That is bad. Do better. um, sorry. Gloves is really important. Kate, if you go do outreach, which I know you do, wear gloves, take precautions, carry wipes with you. Um, it's personal protection as well. But wipes are extremely important. Hand sanitizer is important. I thought the masks were important. Um, if you can think of anything, it's food, but not like non-perishable food. We're just gonna this is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough. Um, and I'll be honest, like, and I'm sorry for this because this is about to get emotional. But my daughter was coming to see me, you know, and I'm really scared that she's not gonna be able to be here because of this. And it really sucks. So there's that. Sorry. There's things that I've been really looking forward to. But, you know, things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And I have to deal with the challenges with grace and dignity and hopefully a huge dose of laughter. Kate, I walked with my client tonight who is a buyer for Costco. She said that the supply coming from China is already backed up 7 months. Yeah. I'm just like, I know, I know we as a community can come up with solutions for our unhoused and our displaced. What breaks my heart is that they weren't thought of in the first place. Like, really, like, people I love were, it's just, like, they just don't matter. And I remember not mattering. I remember that. And that's a really harsh feeling. I'm so sorry. It's just, when I saw that, it was that whole thing. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Not even the people that are supposed to, you know? They are people, they are citizens, they are our people. They are our community. And they were forgotten. They completely forgotten. Okay. Oh, sorry. So sorry. I hope I get to see her too. She's in a hoodie too. Thank you. Still in my comfy one. Like, pretty much my pajama pants and hoodie and my leggings have been my go-to. Kate, oh man, I was wondering about that. My client's in airline pilot isn't able to fly internationally now. Right, and the thing is she may be able to fly different places, but because of where we're at, Kate, our response in this particular area, like, we're looking at quarantine here real soon. And it just, man, you know, whatever. No, I'm not saying that they aren't forgot. Okay. What I'm saying is they were left out of the plans. They were forgotten by our preparedness teams. They absolutely were. And if they weren't forgotten and they were left out on purpose, I think that's even worse. I'm not sure which one I care. Like, they are both really bad options. Like, yes, but I agree. This is the time. This is community effort. This is where we reach out. This is where we rush into battle. You know? And apparently, for me, that's very emotional. John, the top 1% can fix all our ills if they paid their fair share. Yeah, I think at one point that was true. But unfortunately, the only thing that wealth is going to matter as far as it goes in this type of scenario is the quality of healthcare that is received. So, you know, it is what it is. And like, that's the thing I'm trying to say is it literally just is what it is. And we have to reach out and do what we can. There's no time to be like, well, what if this and what if that? I mean, you can't do that. Like, Kate's right. Like, that's, you know, you just reach out. Let's see. Why is Costco out of toilet paper first and condoms? Right. I'm so sorry. What is that generation gonna be called? All the paper products were gone yesterday, but they got more today. That's good. That's good. Hey, the PM25 masks won't be delivered till the end of March, early April. Do you still want them? I think you'll have to get masks locally. Yeah, it probably will. Honestly, hold on. I gotta hide and do this now that I know how. Oh, hold on. Wonderful. Yay. I'm learning how to do that. Okay. So yeah, the masks I don't know about. What I imagine is going to happen, and here's the thing. We're going to each region will have different response teams and different responses. Right now, because of where we're at in Washington, it's going to be we're going to have kind of we're in emergency state right now. We're at highest alert. We are using every resource that we can to help people. So what I am guessing, but it's, a pretty good guess based on the the input we got today from public health is that they will be distributing masks through outreach services. What I The issue being is they're still working on the plan because people were forgotten, so they don't have the plan in place yet. But it absolutely, like I said, I got the email today. It will be in within the next 2 days, and I know for us CLs, we will be doing everything we can to protect our particular demographics. And of course, it's not a required. They're not requiring us to do it. It's completely optional. Um, but I'm gonna fight for my demographic. Bam. That's how that is. Yes, live your best life. Hi, Lady Lilac. I think the smart people are gonna resell. Well, I don't think it's smart. I think that that's the people that are predators. People who price gouge are predators. They are preying on people in their weakest. So yeah, I think we need to really watch that, and we need to make a real effort to let people know that we as a society are not chill with that. Like, that is not okay. Um, Good that I raised Telly the other day. Yeah, it actually, believe it or not, it worked on some levels. It's apparently my temper tantrums. It can cause people to be aware of things. But that's whatever it takes. If it takes me going on a tirade to protect people, that's what I'm going to do. And sometimes you just got to be like, hey, this is what it is. You literally forgot an entire demographic. What you going to do about that? Make it better, fix it. And then, like I said, instead of what I initially did, which is like, okay, I got to isolate because I'm immunosuppressed and in that, health vulnerable place. I was like, okay, no, you take necessary precautions and you go save lives of the people that don't have the privilege of having an apartment to come and at least, if I do get sick, be sick in. Like, of course, reach out to help and help, like, save a life. It's it shouldn't be that difficult of a decision. And I want my daughter to know, both my daughters to know that if there was somebody in need, I tried to do everything I could. And that instead of freezing, I will rush in when necessary. Sometimes you got to be cautious, like I said. But okay, everybody, have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Tomorrow is Harm Reduction Sunday. Please join us on Facebook at Seattle Harm Reduction Coalition. We would love to see you there. Like the page. It's important to get people's support. I did message them to make sure they were still going out. If there are any supplies that arrive tomorrow, I'm going to send them out with them. And then anything that arrives between Monday, I will have it out. I'm going to wait probably like 3-4 hours for anything to come in and then take it out. So, all right, everybody. I will talk to you later. Oh, had not. Hey, I'm just closing up. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you all. Bye.